So now that we have talked about what white balance is, we're going to dive a bit deeper into the science of light and what it is that your camera is doing when you adjust the white balance. To understand this, however, you need to first understand what kelvins are. Here is the Kelvin scale, which ranges from around 1000 Kelvin to 10,000 Kelvin. As you can see, lower numbers on the scale are much warmer in color, more orange, even red down towards 1000 Kelvin. A candle's light is probably the most common light we know in this light temperature range, which reads close to 2000 Kelvin. Up towards the top of the scale, it is blue. So now we're going to go through the Kelvin scale and show you the difference actually through the camera. So currently we're set at Kelvin 2500, or 2500 Kelvin rather. And you can see that because we're outdoors, where typically you're closer to 5600 Kelvin, that it's very blue. Let's go ahead and move up in the Kelvin scale with our white balance. So we're at 2500 and let's go up to 3200. So this is a typical incandescent light bulb, something that you might find indoors. And you can see it's a little bit less blue, but it's still pretty blue. If we were indoors with incandescent light bulbs, this would look white, but because we're outside under the daylight, it looks much bluer. So now let's go up to, let's say 4200, which would be closer to a fluorescent light bulb. And if we were under fluorescent lights, this would be properly white balanced. And you can see that it's getting much closer to looking properly white balanced. Let's keep going up though. And now we are at 5600, and this is daylight. So this is really, for outdoors. We do have some clouds going right now, but it's still a lot of blue sky. So this is pretty good for a typical white balance setting. And when you can look at our auto white balance setting, it looks pretty close to this. So let's keep going though. If we go in here again and we go up to 6,000, let's just go all the way up to 8,000. Now 8,000 starts to look much oranger, and we're outdoors. 8,000 is closer to what you would see under shade, or if you were to point this at the sky, it might even make the blue sky look a little bit whiter. This is kind of a cool way you can adjust your kelvins and really fine tune what you want your white balance to be. Maybe you don't want your image to be fully, perfectly natural looking. Maybe you want it to be a little bluer or a little oranger. You can adjust these Kelvin numbers to get that exact look that you're trying to get. This might seem like just a bunch of random numbers, but why understanding kelvins is important is so you can better understand what you are doing when you or your camera sets the white balance. You'll be a better photographer if you can quickly see the lighting in your frame and know what the white balance setting should be, and how to play with it to add a more creative tint or look to your image. Also, by knowing what your camera is registering as true white, you'll be able to better understand how the rest of the colors in the image will come out. This is very important when you start mixing light sources in an image. Now that you know more about light temperatures, in the next lesson, you'll learn exactly how to do this with your camera, using both auto and manual white balance modes to read that light.